Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV back down here taking a look at what's new from Jayco, what's alive for 25 as I've been saying. And this whole new Jay Feather Air series here, it's starting to really flesh its way out with new floor plans. I think this one's really good. This is an interesting missing link between a 166 Feather Micro, little brother, and a bigger Jay Feather, like maybe a 22 RB. It kind of fits in between, and it sort of steals the best of both worlds from the two things here. So first of all, it's got about a 5,000 pound GVW, just slightly less than that. So there's still some, depending on the vehicle, SUV and mid-size pickup, like tow package pickup kind of potential here, but it's 8 foot wide instead of narrow body, which actually the wider stance of the axles will help a single axle track better behind you. I still think tandem axles tow better, but if I'm going to go single axle, 8 wide does tow more nicely. The underbelly's enclosed. We've got the better stabilizer jacks on these, 200 watts of solar. But again, it's a full 8 foot wide, and that allows them to do things that Feather Micro never could, like a 60 by 80 true queen bed. Instead of some short or narrow bed, you can literally just get a residential, like Serta mattress to throw in. I don't know why I say Serta all the time. It's just always the name on the tip of my tongue. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I don't care. Go get any mattress you want. Tempur-Pedic. Put them in here. I don't care. But this floor plan for solo or couples use is amazing. It's got really good counter space and really good storage and surprisingly spacious inside for no bigger than this thing is, with actually a pretty nice bathroom. The shower was a little tight on my elbows, but like for as small as the camper is, I don't know that I can really be too awful mad at it. It's got some awesome qualities. It's got a couple things you may not like, and I'm going to try to share both of those things in the video today so that before you go spending your money, you can make sure this is the right one for you or not. And if you appreciate that candid approach, hit that subscribe button. And as we go, let me know what you like and dislike about the RV in the comments section below. And while there's some really good qualities about this RV, there's a couple things that might be instant deal breakers for people. I like to try to be fair about that. Let's actually talk about one of them right now while we're looking at it, the bed. First of all, I love the fact that they actually fit a true queen in here. It is a 60 by 80 true queen bed, but it is an east-west corner bed. So if you are couples camping instead of solo camping, one of you is crawling over the other. Now, if your relationship is still in the state where that's okay with you, enjoy. Well done. If you're a little bit past that, if you need your own individual space, if one of you likes to get up and down a little more often at night, that may not work for you. Also, let's talk about the fact that it's a single axle. And for some folks, that's just too nerve-wracking. They say, well, God forbid, I have a flat tire. I need the peace of mind of a second axle back there. Okay, cool. Not a problem. They make the full tandem axle Jay Feather for you. This just, maybe isn't the right one for you. And that's okay. Let's get that out of the way. Let's spend our time looking at things that we do enjoy more. But what else does this have to offer? It's kind of interesting. It has a really good front full pass-through, but corner beds always have this awkward space. I actually kind of love how they left that open. So that, like, if you've got a bunch of totes or something, it's an awesome storage space. Or this could be a very cool little pet palace. And that back there, by the way, that's the giant box that the microwave with all the styrofoam protective packaging comes in. It's also stupid little things that I looked at. Like that single bed leg right there. Big deal, right? It's just a wooden bed leg. I just expected it to look like a square 2x4 or a 4x4 basically. The fact that they tapered it to give it just a smidge of that household kind of comfort and feel. Little details like that I look at and I'm like, that was really smart. I really, really like what they did right there. Now, if I sit down over here, I'm going to point you down toward the floor. And what you don't see is floor heating vents. They have gone completely floor ductless in this. What's shocking is that even though this is such a small RV, it actually still does have centralized ducting coming through the cabinets. And notice that toe kick where that was located, so that you actually have some really nice, like you can belly right up to the bar in this thing. It's actually really, really cool. The TV staring straight across from us, yeah, it's mounted against the ceiling, but it's a small RV, so it's not like it's too far away. And in terms of campsite window coverage, for no bigger than the rig is, I think it's all right. You know, it's not a smaller camper like this. I think is really kind of built and intended for somebody to spend more time outside anyway. I don't know that it's something made for people to spend all day indoors, but if you do get a nasty rainy day, which I got lucky right now recording this, I've been dodging raindrops all day, and there's a bunch of them coming at us pretty soon here. So I managed to get this for you before the weather really cut loose. Where they could, they put windows. This does not have an opposing window over across the bed over on the camp side of the RV, just because that's where the awning arms and the door were located. They kind of couldn't. As we work our way around here, they've been every year just kind of tweaking their decors a little bit. There's a little bit of a two-tone action happening going on in terms of your wood tones. I'd be kind of curious to know what you think about that. Like when you see a movement or a shift or a change like this within a slide, what are your feelings on that right there? I don't know. There's parts of me that like it. There's parts of me that don't. But I'm also not Martha Stewart. I know that that surprises you. Listening to the voice, you'd think we were the same person. It's small, but that could fold down to be a little bit of a guest sleeper or like a big dog or something like that. But what's nice is when it folds down, it really doesn't like interfere with the rest of the RV. And the storage overhead, I took one of those swivel side stands and threw it up there just to give you a size reference. It's actually not too bad in there. Now, speaking of storage, I stumbled into a pleasant little surprise below the sofa. This is like a little bit of a step up slide. So like a true theater seat's not possible because the sofa floats above the wheel well, but they didn't waste the space. There was a little extra pocket of room right there, and they used it really smartly, I think, with those dresser drawers built right into that sofa. That, to me, is some really smart, intelligent RV design because it really maximizes the total storage and function of the RV without, like, there's not a whole lot of loss. There's no negative side to that. Again, trying to be fair, talking about negative sides, this is a non-ducted air RV. So when you're not using the bathroom, you're going to want to keep that bathroom door open to keep it climate controlled. Otherwise, it's going to get, well, I believe Sir Mix-a-Lot describes that as sweat, wet, got it going like a turbo vet. But again, there's a lot of storage down here. Like I threw my backpack in this chunk under the big kitchen countertop, and there's a lot of room there. Big drawers too. So I don't have all three of them fully extended, but you have some serious drawer space down here. And you have magnet holdbacks on all these compartment doors, or, well, just doors, not even just compartment doors, just to give everything a nice clean look. Oh, hello, Mr. Power Outlet's hiding right there, so I can actually, like, plug in an electric griddle. That is awesome. Nicely done. Now, the TV can pivot around. It's on its own swing arm. But here's the thing. This is a little bit of a miniature pantrytainment center. The TV is, in a sense, a cabinet door. So yeah, you know, if you want to lay in bed and watch TV, it can swing right around to you. But in the meantime, the TV's also keeping your apple sauce and mac and cheese. Apple cheese. Is that even a thing? I don't even know if it's a thing, but it doesn't sound like a thing that I want. Ooh. Notice how above the stovetop you actually have an exhaust vent hood? That is crazy rare in single axle RVs. Now down below here, they do give some nice little space for a wastebasket, but there's an extra little pocket off to the left. That might be a handy little shelf for like the extra wastebasket bags or dish soaps or something like that. And this is a big friggin' bucket of a sink, dude. This is way bigger and deeper than I expected. Kind of almost like a truck camper style sink if you're looking at it. Before I forget, our refrigerator, they went with the full size, like 10 cubic foot, 12 volt fridge. I don't normally like to open these live on camera, but the RV, the doors are wanting to close themselves. These 12 volt fridges, though, this is 10.7 cubic foot in capacity, by the way. They cool so much more quickly. Oops, I bumped my butt back into the sparker on the stovetop. I like the power outlets right there next to the sofa. I am forgetting something. Oh, okay, the storage up around the bed. I'm sorry, I've got to continue to swing you around here. More power outlets right over there next to the sofa. That's just really smart. I really like that. But again, this is some of the space that I meant to look at this earlier, and I made a mental footnote, and then I put my foot on my backside and forgot. And I wanted to make sure I showcase these because they defy gravity, like that song where the woman asks if she could defy gravity. I don't think it's exactly quite like that, but there you go. Oh, I love it whenever a manufacturer does this. When they give me the choice between extra dresser space or a hanging closet, little things like that are really, really handy. And smaller single axle RVs with good personal storage, that really is a rare find. Now, I mentioned earlier how you can pivot the TV without necessarily opening the cabinet. So like if you've got a ton of stuff packed up in there and you want to watch TV at night, but you don't want to, have your mac and cheese or your apple cheese apparently fall on the floor. Maybe that's a new nerdism. By the way, if I lay down in bed, this is what you're looking at. Now, you got to lay on your side like you're doing the Burt Reynolds Playboy pose, but, it works. And if you're laying in bed, you can have like a little eye-to-eye contact steering contest, I guess, with whoever's on the toilet. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but I also don't know your life. So maybe that's just how you get your kicks. I'm not sure. Looking at this, though, they angle the toilet nicely so that even a bigger person like me can fit on there very easily. This is one of those retractable shower doors, and you might notice that's like a rectangular shower base. It is a smaller one. Not all rectangular showers are made the same. So when I get you up here, take a look at the left side of the screen right about now. You can see that my head fits in that skylight like a hat, but the elbow room in that is still a little bit tight, but it's a tiny camper. It's not a big rig. It doesn't have all the same exact features and spaces that a big giant thing might. Blackout shade even here in the bathroom is kind of nice, detail oriented. And you're going to get an ugly picture of me looking at you, but that is surprisingly deep. Like, let me stick my arm in here to give you a reference point. There's a lot of storage going on there. Holy cow. Now, the other thing is that means that we have a lot of space back here behind the sink. There's some really good bathroom counter space in there, and that is a nice chunk of space. Now, why doesn't it go all the way to the floor? One, because you have some heat ducting down here, and two, because there's an outdoor griddle there that we haven't seen. Now, I'm trying to... There we go. I had to get my elbow around the refrigerator to back up here so that we can close the slide and take a look at this thing in road mode. What slide system is this? I think this is a Norco Exec slide. Nope. Apologies. That's why I like to double check. That is a Schwintek slide. So there you go. A little quick correction. I don't want to... I'd rather tell you things that I know and not what I think. And if I get it wrong, I want you to know. The thing is, though, I'm looking at this with the slide closed, and I'm asking the question... Does this camper even need a slide? Don't get me wrong. The extra space that I was feeling in here with the slide open was nice. But, I mean, is this terrible? Then again, when it's open, it really does feel nicer in here. I don't know. Leave me a comment. Let me know. And if you appreciate how we give you the before and after slide open close magic shots, leave me a little note. But overall, the travel access, the kitchen, the bathroom, the bed... This thing has excellent travel factors going for it. So getting down to the nuts and the bolts here, this thing's got just under a 5,000 pound maximum weight with, below that, about a 1,000 pound give or take cargo allowance, which isn't terrible. No bigger than the RV is. I think that's reasonable. It also has just under 500 pounds of hitch weight, empty and dry. So you're going to want to be cognizant of that, but there are some smaller, lighter duty vehicles that could handle this thing where you may not necessarily always need the half ton or equivalent to handle it. Now up front here, I do want to point out a couple things that are kind of hidden by the sign. The fact that we have the power tongue jack and 30-pound propane tanks. I was almost expecting 20s, and it's not just one, but two of those with an auto changeover regulator. It's not a guarantee, but there's a trend in the RV industry that the number of propane tanks you get tends to follow the number of axles that you receive. And this is not one of those. So very, very good propane capacity on a smaller RV here. Up front, we are prepped on the side rather, we're prepped and ready for side cameras. So this is all set for a full observation suite. This also has some inverter prep to it. I think you can slap up to a 2,000 watt inverter on this to be able to run multiple household outlets inside. Really nice sized baggage doors on both sides as well. They are rocking the better variety of stabilizers here, and they're doing them front to back, and they are now angling these a little bit, which is actually, I should actually get the camera down to look at these, sorry. It's actually giving them even better stability because it's helping better isolate front to back and side to side and corner to corner movement. Now, Your spare tire is belly mounted. I've heard some people like that. I've heard some people don't, because when you're sitting on a roadside trying to replace a spare tire, crawling under the RV does not sound like the most exciting thing, and I respect that. There is a hitch on the back if you wanted to put it there. You could also, I suppose, wrap it up in an old blanket and haul it inside the RV under the bed if you wanted to. That doesn't sound like as much fun, though. Your general construction here is the same as a Jay Feather. We've got a full walk-on like snow load roof. We've got the double Asdel laminated composite walls. This is a smaller RV, so they didn't have the opportunity to put the world's biggest awning onto it, but they did the best they could. You know, there's really no wasted space on the sidewall for the awning. It's also an anti-slam door, which is really important on this floor plan, because if the wind kicks that door open really hard, if it smacks an awning arm sideways, it's gonna bust. The awning's gonna bust. If it, if it just bumps it lightly because of the friction, it's not gonna really mess anything up. Now we are on Goodyear Endurance radials over here, which, what is that, 87 miles an hour rated? I think if it could go 1 more mile per hour, that would be how the DeLorean goes back in time, but this one's not quite rated for time travel with good old Doc Brown, Working our way around the side here, this nice poster is actually hiding the fact that we have a hot cold outside utility shower, which is handy. And they actually have a handy little built-in griddle slide, which sounds like the country line dance that never caught on. The griddle slide. Pancakes and bacon, the griddle slide. Sorry, I have not slept much in the past several days, and I'm starting to get a little my thoughts are going off the beaten path a little harder than normal, so we're going to keep on keeping on. On the back here, we do have a full 2-inch receiver hitch, so if you wanted to bring along a bike rack or a cargo tray for a generator, you've got the perfect spot to do it right there. Slipping over to the other side, the taillights do have reverse travel elements in them, so if you shift into reverse, it's actually surprisingly bright how much light it casts back here. We're literally right next to the highway, so I got a lot of road noise behind me, a little wind coming in. Sorry about that. Notice the Jayco flag attached to a ladder. The fact that they've actually included a ladder to get up that fully walkable roof to be able to check all your seals, do your regular routine upkeep and service, and, keep an eye on that solar panel. That's awesome. Man, not even just single axle campers, a lot of tandem axle RVs don't do that. Now, if you look behind the rear tire, look down low, you can actually see how it's a single sewer outlet, so everything all comes out of one drain, which is easy and nice. More common on a small RV, sometimes problematic on bigger ones. But I do want to point out, you do have a black tank sewer hose caddy tube so that you don't have to mix your poop stuff with your camping stuff and end up getting pink eye from your camping chair, because that's not how anybody... The last thing you want to do when you're sitting in your camping chair is make an appointment with your health provider to get something to clear up some pink eye. That sounds like a lot of not fun. So there we have it, everybody. Let me know what you think about this one. As I tend to do, I will leave you links in the video description for pricing and availability. Let you know, that way, you're 1 click away from being able to see where these things are and what they might be running. Actual discounted sale prices, by the way, not just some random MSRP figure exclusively. If you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.